Hello, YouTube. A song for you before we begin the announcements. This is the parting glass. Isn't that so beautiful? That's called the parting glass. And, oh my gosh. Let me not bump into my stand. There we go. Okay. That is called the parting glass, and it's an Irish kind of ballad or Irish lament of the last glass that you drink before departing. And it's, it could be a metaphor for many things, but there's so much going on in the world with people having to say goodbye and, I'll see you in the spirit world. I'll see you soon. It's just, it always grabs me. So I like that one. I'm thinking of playing that one on my recital as an encore, and my recital will be in September. Oh my goodness. So, I mean, almost every day, I have been doing a specific kind of practice routine in the morning. And it's been so great that I decided to share it with my studio. So we have been going over the idea of a warm-up for this whole month of April, which has been nice because I was away the first week of April. And when I come back from vacations, we all need, a little bit of getting back in the groove of things, because sometimes people's only time to play their instrument is for their lesson. Sometimes you have time to practice during the week, but sometimes that is just the 1 hour that you set aside to make sure that you play something and you have a fun time is the lesson. So anyway, the theme of April has been the idea of a warm-up routine. And that's something that we're going to go over as a group. We've gone over it individually for each person in the studio this month. But as a group on this Thursday, what is this Thursday? I think it's the 21st, this Thursday, the 21st. Let's just call it the 21st of April. At 8:30, we're gonna be talking about the warm-up routine. You want to make sure that you're all aligned when you are warmed up, right? Your bow is good, your instrument position is good, your left hand is all attuned, your fingers know where they're going. So doing some open strings, doing some hand patterns, doing some strength training for the left hand using the Blessed Stradic book, doing some vibrato, and then maybe a scale routine if you have one, and then playing something easy and fun that you can apply everything to. You can add whatever you want to your warm-up routine, but there's also some double stops in there that we do with hand patterns and whatnot. But having a warm-up routine is so great because sometimes you just don't know what to practice, right? And so it's kind of the equivalent of like you've already pre-planned your meals for the week, right? You just look in the fridge and there's your meal and you eat that. It's the equivalent of that on the instrument. So it's for those days where you feel like you're having a weird day, like out of tune day, and just nothing is working. You're probably a little bit out of alignment with things. There's something that's kind of gone amiss in the computer programming of your machine, So anyway, it can also be the first thing that you do. You roll out of bed in the morning, grab your cup of coffee, grab your instrument, go do your warm-up routine. You got 30 minutes in. And, when you come back from work, you can decompress and just play some fun things, or you can kind of figure out what you want to do with it. But warm-up routine. So this Thursday, 8:30 at our violin group class, which you can join via Patreon if you're not in the studio. Please join. If you're thinking about like participating in the group classes, stop thinking that you have been thinking about it enough. Stop thinking about it. Just come to one. And then if you hate them, you never have to go to it again and you don't have to worry about it. But I promise you that you will have an enjoyable time. You don't even have to have your instrument. You can just listen in. If you have been contemplating the thought of coming, come check it out for real and at least learn about the concept of a warm-up routine, what would be good to add. The last Friday this month is our virtual studio circle for April. And we do one every month. Last month, we had a special guest who, his name was Daniel Plain, and he was a fiddle player, and he came to talk to us about the Irish style and kind of like learned a teeny bit, little intro, got our minds thinking about Irish fiddle music. And this month, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that David Mitchie of David Mitchie's Violin Shop in Philadelphia will be able to come and talk to us about how to buy a violin, what you want to look for, what makes a good violin, all those kinds of questions that I know so many of us have. So he's going to come talk to us, fingers crossed, if he's free, for the first 30 minutes, so 7:30 to 8 on the last Friday of April. And all this stuff is on Patreon, so if you get confused, just go to patreon.com/violin viola masterclass, which I will link below for you. And then the last 30 minutes is our time of the virtual studio circle, is our time to just practice playing for each other. If there is a topic that we feel like we want to kind of go over, or if there's something that we've been going over as a studio, like a whole overall theme, like the idea of a warm-up, we might kind of discuss certain things, or if there's certain technical issues that everybody is kind of struggling with, we can have like a little mini group lesson on whatever that is. But it's actually really our time to just practice playing for a group, a supportive group where you can just crash and burn and be like supported by a sweet and gentle community that's like, you did it. Because it's often so scary to just perform. It's almost the equivalent of like public speaking or doing something that scares you, right? Sometimes we think that, okay, well, we need to just take a pill and we'll feel better. Well, then we'll be able to conquer our fear and do it, right? But it's just, a lot of it is just psychological. So we're just practicing the doing of the thing and not the analyzing of the thing, just practicing doing the thing, and see later on, after we have done the thing, what that experience was like. And the more repetition that you have of doing that kind of thing, practicing, performing, or just sharing what you're learning, whether it's you do a great job with it or whether you feel like you crashed and burned or whatever it is, like, it's just a good learning experience for you. Music makes us grow in so many ways, so many ways. And if we just always are confined to our little practice room and we never practice playing for others, that's when, your friends come over and they're like, hey, you've been playing the violin, like play us something. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to play. Or at the holidays when your family is like, well, you've been playing the violin for a year. Why don't you play us something? And you're like, I don't know. And then it's like the pressure and all that. So if you can just get it out of your system and just play something. That's what our virtual studio circles are magical time for. And I also usually draw a fairy card, and the fairy card is very inspiring for all of us, I feel. It's always inspiring for me, that's for sure. So those are our 2 events this month. You can join all of them on the link below, which will be patreon.com/violin viola masterclass. There's the $1 tier, there's the $5 tier, there's the $15 tier, and there's the group class tier, where you can join all of our group classes on Thursday evenings, every other Thursday evening, and also the virtual studio circle the last Friday of the month, upon all of the other things that you get every week. So with that, mark your calendars. Thursday, April 21st, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the violin group class. And the last Friday of the month, which is maybe the 29th of April, the last Friday, whatever the last Friday is, at 7:30 p.m. for the virtual studio circle. All right, and all of this is on Zoom, obviously. So lots of love. I hope to see you there. Thank you for listening. I hope you're having a magical April, and I'll see you all very soon.